Gamers Table. It is Monday, and we're reviewing Dungeon Lords.
It's a wacky, fun, tongue-in-cheek game.
Dungeon Lords is a game for 2 to 4 players. You take the role of a young aspiring dungeon lord, just 15 to 20 decades old, who is trying to get a dungeon lord license. The Ministry of Dungeons gives you a trial period during which you attempt to build a high-quality dungeon and protect it from adventurers. At the end of 2 years, your dungeon is visited by Ministry officials who give you points for your engineering and tactical achievements. Dungeon Lords puts you on the other side of the dungeon and adventurer equation. You're not an adventurer this time. You're the guy making the dungeon, the guy who's setting up the traps and piling up the gold and hiring the monsters and getting them all to defend this thing, intentionally defend this thing against the adventurers who you know are going to come in. Because the Ministry of Dungeons is going to grant you a dungeon making license. But what about the Dark Lord? Does anyone ever think about his feelings? Those adventurers who've never done an honest day's work in their lives cannot begin to imagine how much effort goes into building a respectable dungeon. They have no idea how hard it is to tunnel through granite, how expensive good traps are these days, how difficult it is to find quality imps, or how much food it takes to feed a troll. And the bureaucracy. Dungeons must meet rigid safety specifications. Gold mining is subject to strict regulations.
Safety in a dungeon?
And taxes are due whenever the Ministry of Dungeons feels like it. That's like real life. And as soon as the dungeon is built, some band of do-gooders come along and hacks everything up.
Damn
Life is
do-gooders.
not easy for a dungeon lord.
Hey,
Adventurers, get out of my dungeon.
there's a lot of stuff going on in this game. There's a lot of little things.
Yeah.
So you need to read it carefully because there's a lot of margin for error in this game. That's for sure.
Well, this one, I enjoy it, but up until the point where they come and invade your dungeon.
That's a little depressing because
They are nasty.
It's
These
not
good guys are
I
too
got it
good.
The more evil you are, the more powerful the adventurers come to your dungeon.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
if you're making a really nasty dungeon, the guys that kick serious butts, hey, that's a good dungeon over there. I'm gonna go in that one.
And it's one of those games that doesn't seem to matter how well you do sometimes. You just get the staff because those adventurers, they destroy your dungeon. And if they explore your dungeon tally, it's not worth any more points to you. And and you only have so much space to build your dungeon. These guys come in and ruin it. I mean, that's what the adventurers do.
Yeah, it's a random group of people, but they just have different power levels that come into your dungeon, and you hope that the dungeon you set up survives what they do with it. And then you do another year, and then here they come again, and they're tougher now, and they're going to wreck more of your stuff.
Stop wrecking what I just made!
Quit breaking my trap. You know how long it took me to devise that?
Oh, yes.
These imps don't come cheap.
And you get your monsters, and you watch your monsters die. It's like, no!
Oh, my monster.
It's a nice way to flip the whole dungeon thing backwards, whereas you're not the adventurers this time. You're the guy making the dungeon for the adventurers. It's like, all you player characters now see what it's like to be the damn dungeon master. Watch these stupid players wreck everything I just built.
Right.
Why? Why must you ruin everything I've built?
Get your little limp. Come on. Bag there. The pieces in this game are,
Good quality.
decent quality. Okay, a lot of, whoa, open bag.
New ways to throw it on the floor.
Yes, we'll pick them up later. Like you guys haven't done any of that. All right. But
No, just you.
the quality of the game is very good. The artwork on it is pretty cool.
Well, the artwork is amazing on the board.
Well, amazing, but I like it a lot. It's again like tongue-in-cheek kind of artwork and everything too, where you got your big goofy-looking trolls with their big toothy grins and your skinny little goblins with the big eyes.
In my mind, I'm sure some of you guys out there have played Dungeon Keeper PC game. I really, really like Dungeon Keeper, and I thought Dungeon Lord was going to be a lot like Dungeon Keeper. And yes, it is a lot like Dungeon Keeper, but not that much.
Can't remember.
Here's the main board that records all the things you have.
Yeah, there's all our
all that
options.
stuff, and how good or evil you are on the evil track.
It's actually quite cluttered. Yeah.
And you choose some of them by placing your imps, and on each one, it's first, second, third. If in a 4-player game, if you wanted to do that and everybody else took it, you're not getting to go there.
Yeah, when I first looked at this, I'm thinking, okay, what the heck are we doing on here? There's nothing, no text. It's all symbols, pictures. If you haven't read the rules, you're not going to know what the hell to do with it. So yeah, definitely read the rules.
If you're playing board games without reading the rules,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
Welcome to the table.
There are some games, there are some games that are pretty, you look at it and you instantly know what you got to do.
Yeah.
They're pretty, it spells it out on the board. Sometimes they have like a turn order printed out for you, you know, a help guide or something like that that'll tell you, hey, okay, that's exactly what I need to know. Right.
It's a worker placement type game, and there's so many different things that you can do, and you need to do all of them. You need to have a balanced dungeon layout, a balanced structure to it. Otherwise, when the adventurers come in, they're going to take advantage of that weakness and wipe out some of your dungeon.
It's a worker placement game with a lot of options, and I think that's part of the problem with being able to win this game. Is there's so many
Too
things
many
to do,
things to pick.
and you have to do some of all of them. If you
Yeah.
concentrate on one, the adventurers come in and smash you on one of the other fronts.
And one of the trick about this game too is you cannot, like, there's 3 things you can do each round. One of them you can take back and do it the next round. The other 2 get locked away, so next round you can't even access.
Where's
them.
one?
This one is from Barry. Many thanks for the Last Night at Earth review. Funniest episode yet, even without the outtake. I don't know about that, but just a bit curious about your gaming background. Judging from the games you like and don't like, and the clothing you wear in each video, I have deduced that Craig was a D&D player and lover of all things dark and morbid with games like Arkham and Hero Quest. Chris was probably a war gamer or dexterity player as he likes screwing people
Just
over.
the opposite.
Possibly chess player. Ken was, I'm sure, a Milton Bradley boy. Connect 4, battleships, etc. Dare I say Monopoly, but not no more. Am I right? Am I wrong? As I see a little bit of me in each of you. And these are the thing I relate to you as gamers. Hope I haven't offended anyone. Keep me laughing each Monday and keep me wanting to play more.
No, but I think he's got Chris and I mixed
He's
up a
got some
little
close-
bit there because I like the war games better than Chris, I think.
I like
And
the
Chris
Euro. I
likes
like the
Milt
strategy
Bradley
games.
stuff too. You like Risk and all that stuff.
I like Risk, yeah, but I mean, it's a Milton Bradley, or I thought.
I don't know if that's Milton
Axis
Bradley
and
or not,
Allies
but
right away.
yeah, well,
And you
I like
your
Axis and Allies. No, I'm not. Like there are flaws with it, and there are things I like about it too. But yeah,
I played D&D for about 3 weeks before realizing that system was far too restrictive for me, and I invented my own system.
I played D&D.
Chris and I both have been.
I like
Ken
D&D.
Played
I haven't
some, but
played it
later.
much, but,
Chris
yeah.
Chris and I played it both a lot more than Ken in role-playing games in general.
Yeah.
I don't like all things dark and morbid. It's just some of my favorite cooperative games
does.
tend to be that way. No, because I like Guards, which is Terry Pratchett, which is not morbid and stuff at all. It's really a light game.
Yeah.
Chris doesn't
Yeah, it's
like,
fantasy.
we'll get to
isn't
that.
it? Right, yeah.
I perhaps if I understood the world,
Yeah, I think
more,
so. That's one that you really
I
need.
would
Yeah.
I would enjoy
Well,
it more.
I like adventure games.
It just seemed a
and-
little weird.
yeah.
But luggage, okay. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm sure to some people it's kind of cool, but
that one I very much expects you to have read the book.
yeah.
Well, I like the adventure games, war games, fantasy games, and stuff like that. You know, I'm not into the what do you call it, the economic games and things like that. That's not my thing.
He's not a resource management type
No.
of guy.
Even though he
No.
really likes Stone Age.
Well, Stone Age, yeah, it's a little bit more worker placement. And, yeah.
Like him. Well, wrapping up.
Yes.
Dungeon Lords.
I give Dungeon Lords an 8.
It has a good theme. It's a little frustrating, but as someone who's
Mhm.
been the DM in a lot of games before, I'm used to watching the players come in and wreck all the stuff that I spent so much time devising. Or even worse, just ignoring all the stuff that you said. No, don't go over there! No, not... Oh, man! They killed my big monster first. That wasn't supposed to happen.
I'm going to give it 7.5. It's great quality game. Well, as far as construction pieces go, excellent rule book. Very nice, tongue-in-cheek, humor to the whole thing. As far as gameplay, it's been a while, but I had a lot of fun doing it. Except when, again, like the good guys came in and smashed everything. That's not fun.
I give Dungeon Lords an 8. This game is great. It's a worker placement with lots of excruciating decisions. Like, it's not an easy game. It's very unforgiving, actually, because it's
Yeah.
hard enough, and then the adventurers come and...
That's the thing I don't.
I don't know if we mentioned this enough, that the adventurers come and wreck your dungeon.
I don't like that.
They wreck it.
Stop wrecking what I made so much time to build.
I mean, because you have to compete with the other people playing the game.
After you've gone through all that, work to build it up and try and get a good dungeon, and they wreck it. It's like a little kid on a beach making his sandcastle. He's done such a great job, and then somebody comes along and kicks it over.
So that's it for another episode of the Gamers Table. Tune in next week for another review of another game. You just hope that you did it right, or they get a bad roll or a bad card or whatever, and they don't do as much damage as they could do.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to seem like I'm tired in every freaking review we do because I'm yawning. A lot of reviews are filmed in the same night, so I'm kind of started yawning and I can't stop. It's going to go on for a month.
Okay, well, before you do that, right on the very first page of the manual, they have an imp and a demon having a discussion that are telling you about the game.
Okay.
So,
Oh, you're here already. Do come in. My name is Redacted to comply with advertising regulations. For over 300 years, I've been in the service of the great Redacted to comply with advertising regulations. The Ministry of Dungeons has asked me to round up this text with notes and comments from my centuries of experience. It is my honor to comply. Although if they don't stop censoring me, they can take their pencil and redact it to comply with obscenity regulations.
Okay.
then,
Hey, how's it going? My name is the Nameless Demon from the Infinite Flames of Eternal Damnation. But my friends just call me the Damn Demon. I'm here to help you figure out this rulebook. I used to be an instructor at Razamoth's famous dungeon building survival camp.
and it goes on and on like that.
That's the whole game right there.
It's one small step for man,